Don't speak what you don't understand. The truth is not in your command. Don't shout about what you think is fake. The decision isn't yours to make. Don't lie about the way things are. Tall tales will take you very far. Don't scoff when they say it's the end in this life.
Good afternoon. It is just about 5:02 p.m. on Friday, June 12th. Happy Friday. I know I am glad it's Friday. I've had a very busy week, very busy day. There you guys are. And I have a little bit of news and I have some explanations, and grab your pencils again because the city is just absolutely insane. Okay. Let me just take a quick look at your comments before I get started. Early voting starts tomorrow. Yes, Anne. Vote for the candidates that support us. And you would have to ask them which ones do, because I honestly don't know which one that is. So, Fitney Gov 911, you're in Peachtree City. Where in Peachtree City are you? Because I'm right next door to you. Okay, so we told you to pencil in your calendars that we were going to have an event potentially on Monday. Well, just before coming on, I asked our attorneys where we are with that, and the city has been ignoring them for the last several days. I told you the city does not respect you. I was not lying. Not only does the mayor refuse to answer all requests of ours from communicating with us, from meeting with us, from having a sit down, a telephone call, a Zoom call. I mean, at this point, I'd even agree to like smoke signals. And yet that's all being ignored. We've emailed the first deputy mayor, Dean Foulahan. We've emailed the mayor. We've emailed the website. We are working with one of his other offices. And so far, no communication, no acknowledgement, no response. But we're not stopping there, because this will ramp up in the next couple of months. We're starting a new campaign on social media again this week. You notice as I was sick, I took off like about a week to try to get through that respiratory problem that I was having. But for Monday, we're going to cancel Monday again. They're telling me plan for Tuesday or Wednesday. Plan for Tuesday or Wednesday. So you will hear from me again on Monday, because of course the city doesn't do like we do. We work all the time. We'll answer emails all weekend. The city doesn't do that. So when half of them, they are not even working today, or they probably left at 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon. So I hate to do this to you, but just pencil in Tuesday or Wednesday, 11 a.m. City Hall, and I will get back to you on Monday about this. Now, just because they come in Monday, don't ask me at 9 o'clock in the morning, did they answer you? No, they're not going to answer me by Monday at 9. I would say give them until about noon to 3 o'clock, and then I will come back in the afternoon and update you. But for right now, just pencil in Tuesday, Wednesday, 11 a.m. City Hall. I know you're going to be really happy when you finally hear everything that's happening, but I can't say anything until I absolutely know for sure it's going to happen. So I just have to keep pushing this up. Just nudge it a little bit. Tuesday, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Put that on your calendars. So that is my suggestion for you for right now. So that is that. Many of you saw our message about the paraprofessionals, and you saw David Kazansky's message. If you are a paraprofessional in TRS, that many of you received a phone call, and that phone call was that they had made a pension mistake. The mistake was that they were supposed to give you 1/3 of your pension. Accidental disability pension was 1/3 of your average salary, and instead they gave you 2/3. So what does that mean? Well, we've discussed many times what a fiduciary responsibility is. Now, what that means is NYCERS is contacting all of these paras that they made this mistake with, and they're telling them that they made this mistake and they're needing their money back. And some of it goes back like 2010, 2011, 2012. So they're also reducing their pension from the 2/3 down to 1/3. Since our organization does not do pension law fights, we can help connect you to pension attorneys. We reached out to Jeffrey Goldberg's office and Phil Selig's office. And if you go to nypensionlawyers.com, if that is one of you, and I'm going to put that in the chat, nypensionlawyers.com. That is the website that you can go to, nypensionlawyers.com. Let me see if I can quickly pull that up for you so you could see what it looks like. And I had worked with Jeff Goldberg for decades doing pensions and Social Security, going back to my previous life, working with the unions beforehand and then on my own after I retired. So I reached out to them and I said, hey, listen, would you be able to look into this? And so both of them are. What they're looking for is that if you guys all contact them, you don't need to contact us anymore. They're willing to field these phone calls. This is their website. And you can, you can go to their site. You can go to contact us. You can email them. Their emails are up here, up at the top. You can read about some of what they've done before. Contact them, email them. Their emails are right here up top, or go to the contact us page and contact them there. So what we want you to do is reach out to them, not us, on this. Communicate with them, because they are the ones that they're right now researching whether or not there's a path to litigation, to suing TRS. And we're hoping at some point the United Federation of Teachers decides this is important enough to actually speak up about. What are they doing to protect you? What is going to happen with the trustees that for, I don't know, like the past 10, 15, 20 years has allowed this mistake to go unnoticed? That's a failure on their part. So yes, it's absolutely, Laura. It is a horrendous thing to have to deal with, because one, they're already struggling with pay, and low pensions because they have our low income workers. And then now they're not only clawing back money going back from all of the years that they paid them, which was half their pension. They're also trying to get. They're also going to reduce their pension going forward. So this could potentially cripple like thousands of retired paraprofessionals. So please contact the attorneys on this issue if this is one of you. There's a potential, if there's a path to litigation, that they would do they will do a class action on this. Yes, Ellen, great point. You helped me make this the other day. Please preserve all of your documents related to your pension counseling, relating to TRS, any materials from UFT pension counseling, TRS pension counseling, any of your documents in which they've sent you letters affirming how much your pension would be, any calculations that they gave you, anything. Remember when we started our lawsuits against the city of New York? We needed to have all of this data. You guys came up with some amazing stuff that you've held on to for 20, 30, 40 years. This is going to be one of those. Please start digging into this. Yes, it is, to my knowledge, it is just TRS that made this mistake. I am not aware of any other ones that had this error made. This is specifically a TRS pension rule that is in the administrative code. So unless I hear otherwise, I don't know anything about it yet. But yes, absolutely. Okay. Delegate assembly. man, you guys can seriously get triggered by Michael Mulgrew. I totally get it. At this point, let's clear up some of that. I've been working on a video that I'm going to bring out today. After this, it'll just be a short, like little 2-minute video taking clips of some of the crap that he said. I think you all know at this point, Michael Mulgrew does not speak the truth. You also understand at this point that sometimes when he says something, it's kind of cloaked in some truthfulness, but he's literally exposing what he did. In the delegate assembly meeting, they said that there was actually, I have to give a shout out to Martha Boardman, who made a resolution to have the union walk back copays. And it was a very well-spoken resolution. And Michael Mulgrew even said, there isn't anyone in this room that likes copays, right? Everyone hates copays. Now, of course, now the entire room, including his Unity flying monkeys, have all said that they hated copays. But guess what? Who has been implementing copays? Who? Michael Mulgrew. And it actually started with Michael Mulgrew in 2014 to help finance the teacher contract in 2014. In the MLC agreements, he tied them all together and then linked it to his union contract. Never did I ever see that happen before. So at least not to this extent. I've never seen that before, period. But like this was literally, hold on 1 second. I have to take this call. I am so sorry. Hello, this is Marianne. My apologies, because this call was extremely serious, and I'm going to get to that in a second. Someone remind me where the heck I was. Yes, and I will talk about Chris Marte as well. Thank you. Tell me what I was talking about before that call came in. You're a psychic? No. Paris. Okay. Oh yeah, Mulgrew. We were on Mulgrew. Okay. So on the delegate assembly, Mulgrew said that he was going to, he recognized that Martha Boardman made this really great resolution to have the union use its political weight to roll back copays. The problem, he says, with that is we could tell the city that they have to roll back copays. The problem with that is the city's going to say, well, then give me the money that we were making from copays. And then what? He says, I'm not going to have to deal with the active employees. OLR tell them that they're going to have to reduce their wages because the union doesn't want copays. Did you just hear that? I'm going to play this for you this afternoon. When we get off this chat, I'm going to post this video. You are going to hear Michael Mulgrew say he cannot face active workers angry that their raises might potentially be reduced just because a retiree doesn't want copays. Meaning you, the retiree on Medicare, on a fixed income, most of our retirees making under $35,000 pensions, some making $12,000 pensions, that he's charging you a tax on every medical visit so that he can finance his union contract and give raises to active workers. Active workers deserve raises, but not on the backs of a retiree. And I'm going to tell you, we are working right now on stepping up that activism because this cannot continue. This is a result of the Mayor's Office of Labor Relations over several administrations, as well as these two union leaders, Michael Mulgrew, UFT, DC 37, Henry Garrido, thinking that they can go to the MLC and convince them to increase copays to fund their agreements. And then several of you pinged me because you heard Mark Levine, comptroller, testifying this week, I think on the 9th, about agreements having to be made, lived up to, and that there's no jeopardy to retiree health care. I had a meeting today with Bob, our vice president, and we talked about this issue. We also talked about your questions. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget that one either. Questions, Marte and Angie. Okay. So we're working on this because that is absolutely not correct. Retiree healthcare is in jeopardy, even though they're saying that they're not going to do Medicare Advantage. It's not doing Medicare Advantage at this time. And unless they codify a law that says that they're not going to ever implement Medicare Advantage, there will be some Mayor's Office of Labor Relations, some mayor, some harebrained labor leader that thinks that they're a leader that is going to try to do this because they want money out of you. And we're not going to stop until that's done. So hang tight. We submitted testimony today to Julie Menon and Linda Lee, the chair of finance, to explain that this is not acceptable. And we laid it out why. Also, Marte. So let's go to this. Thanks, Ellen. So we've been waiting for our city council bill. Effectively, our assembly bill was never introduced. The session ended, and we are going to start the state bill all over again right after Thanksgiving. We will have the bill reintroduced. It'll be the correct language this time. And we will also have an assembly sponsor that's willing to do the right thing. Also, when that happens, the state workers will be with us on this time. And this will come back hopefully for January because it just doesn't make any sense to do this now. There's no session that we can get a lot of support on. Yes, many of the senators have been on that bill. You can continue to pressure some of your senators to get on the legislation, but the bill will not go anywhere this year because there is no assembly companion bill and this legislative session is over. But it does make it easier rolling those people over for next year. So don't give up hope on that. City council bill. So there's been some more hiccups, and we're trying to find out why there are more hiccups. And right before I got on this call today with you guys, Councilmember Marte called me and wanted you guys to know that, yes, our bill, because we are special, does run into a few more speed bumps than we would like, but that he wants us to give him about till next week, and hopefully by next Friday, he'll have an answer for you. The goal is to try to get this bill introduced at the next stated, which I believe, I forgot to look that up before I came here, which should be something around, I think, the 29th. And if that's the case, then you will hear from us, because I will meet all of you at City Hall. Let's see if I can quickly pull that up. Council calendar. So the last stated was just this Thursday. It was the 11th. Yep, June 29th at 1:30 p.m. at City Council. So pencil that day in your calendar as well, because if Chris's Councilmember Marte is able to get this legislation introduced, then that might be the next day that it would happen, and it'd be great to see a bunch of you there. So thank you for reminding me of that one. So the call that I was just on, this talks about, we were talking about how TRS is screwing up. This is a NYCERS screw up. And it tells you how they may or may not understand their own pension laws. I've been doing pensions for 35 years. I fully understand this system, especially NYCERS, because we've been fighting NYCERS forever. And so we got a call this week from a retiree saying that they went out, they had to leave their job because they were disabled, and they didn't have health insurance while they were fighting to get their Social Security because they couldn't draw their pension. It was too soon. And you don't want to take a too soon pension, especially when you're younger, because you're looking at a 1/3. If it's a disability, non-service connected civilian, you're looking at a 1/3 taxable pension. It doesn't make any sense. So you want to wait until you're at least vested. This retiree is struggling to try to make ends meet, and then ended up going on to a United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plan because it was at no cost, and then all of a sudden was dealing with breast cancer. So she sent us an email in response to one of our fundraising emails, and we called her and said, hey, what's going on? And we learned she's on a United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plan. We were like, oh no, how do we fix this? And we said, are you eligible for a pension? Can you draw your pension? What pension are you in? What tier are you in? So she is a tier 4 pensioner. And we talked about that. She just started getting advanced payments of her pension. She did not know she was entitled to health care. So we had her call, and they told her, yes, you're entitled to health care. That call that I just got on that interrupted our Friday Night Live was NYCERS telling me that they don't think she's entitled to health care. And I'm like, she absolutely is entitled to health care. Even if she's a part-time worker, you need 5 years vested. They're going, no, she needs 10. I'm like, no, she needs 5. She's 57.5, and she is a tier 4 ODA. Her date of hire was 2008. And so I'm like banging my head against the wall. So they're going to go back and take a look at it. But here's the key point to this that I want you to know. She's United Healthcare, Medicare Advantage. She has cancer. And the doctor wants to do a mammogram, a screening test for her to mark her baseline before he does her cancer surgery, which is scheduled for in a month. And Medicare Advantage by United Healthcare is denying her approval for this test. And this isn't the first time. And so she's really frustrated and she's very anxious about this. And here she is battling cancer, and now she's battling her insurance company, and she's a New York City retiree. So we said, let us help you try to expedite this. We educated her on doing the forms to get her Medicare B reimbursement, to get her Medicare enrolled so that she could move over to traditional Medicare, and then also get her union welfare fund benefits because she doesn't have those either. So we're really trying to help her get this done, and very unusual that the pension system would call me after 5 o'clock and ask me more information for this. So understanding the severity of this is why I interrupted our time together to make sure that this lady who's right now fighting at United Healthcare Medicare Advantage to treat her breast cancer, we could move her off of that horrible, horrendous MA plan and into the city health plan. And she doesn't have to worry anymore. So my apologies for interrupting our call, but when I saw that NYCRs was calling me at 5:15, my apologies. I took that call because I'm trying to give her peace of mind, because she literally again hung up with me this afternoon crying again. So I don't want to do the best that I could to try to help her. Do you know okay, let's see. Matthew, to all, as Eric Botcher took 2 weeks to decide if he would co-sponsor our state legislation, like the day before the legislation died, one would anticipate that he's well positioned to be the first sponsor next session. After all, his delayed sponsor should be indicative of him thoroughly assessing every aspect. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, Matthew. Let's just say, I'm sure that they know that the bill didn't have an assembly sponsor, but they also know we are persistent, and that bill is coming back, and we are not stopping, because remember, the state bill protects not just us, but the retirees from city, county, town, state, all around the state. Joe, my brother, yes, no response to my last message to Mr. Ritter. I've tried to get Mr. Ritter to answer me, Bill Ritter, to answer about this. I get you, but I'm sorry he did not answer me back. Thank you for being persistent and trying to communicate with him. Maybe on Monday, you might want to put his Facebook page up and maybe ask everyone else to help you do that as well. But hopefully, if we're able to make this statement next week and this announcement, as we're hoping, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, we will invite them to our press conference and hopefully they will show up. Let's see. Can we ask for judicial intervention regarding the city not timely responding to us in the copay negotiations? Actually, the copay negotiations have been going on. It's a back and forth with the city. It's just the city and Emblem are dragging their feet, but it is moving. It's just moving at a snail's pace. Does this poor lady have a council member? So Camille, no, ironically, she had to move in with a relative in Florida, and that's where she is right now. So I'm helping her from afar. We'll say extra prayers and include that retiree. It was the right thing taking that call. Yes, I am. Thank you, my dear. And you will eventually meet her, because I told her, for as much as we're fighting for her to try to get her health benefits and the city to recognize that it does appear that she should be entitled to them, she did tell us, at least on the Medicare Advantage side, that she would come on one day and do an interview with us to tell all of you and anyone else that wants to listen exactly what she's been going through to get her cancer treatment covered and why this is really, really needed. For what I saw on the website, Eric Botcher is also on the New York State Civil Service and Labor Committee. No other response, but to sign our bill when it gets reintroduced. Yes. So we will keep you posted on this, because what's going to happen is the legislation is going to come back. We're going to do some meetings come fall, and then we will be bringing this bill back. Now, I want to make this crystal clear to anyone who's listening. The United Federation of Teachers and the AFL-CIO Mario Salento have been lobbying against our legislation in the state since January. And this is partially why we've been having some trouble. So remember, we have said to you, if you are paying a COPE, COPE COPE to your former UFT or to any one of your other unions, a people's union, a people's donation to DC 37, stop paying political action because they're using your money against you. You should be paying our organization for our political action because clearly we need to step up what we're doing. It's taken us 5 years to get to this point, and I think you'll be happy next week. However, this legislation is the last thing that we need to get done in order to protect you for everything, copays, Medicare Advantage, and we really need that push. So that would be the next thing I want to tell you is fundraising. Remember, we're trying to get $100,000 a month and to pay some of these bills. And so far for June, the first 2 weeks, we're at $31,244.02. So we want to get that to $100,000 every single month. This is where we need to be, unfortunately. Let's see. NBC's been doing a great series called The Cost of Denial about MA and other plans. Yes, we did ping our PR people and trying to pull us into that conversation because we even have the transit retirees to help out with that conversation. Frequently, the companion bill situation is a big hoax. Yes, it is. We understand that. And we understand that was where the influence was, which is why I can tell you it was Michael Mulgrew, the United Federation of Teachers lobbyists. I posted their photos. I will be posting their names and I will be getting their photos too, so that you can hold all of them accountable, including Mario Salento, AFL-CIO. No union leader worth their salt should ever be negotiating or lobbying against a retired unionist. And this affects even retirees that were managerial that were never in a union. My point is that there should be no reason why they are fighting against you, because lobbying against a retiree that's trying to codify legislation basically says, we don't want you to close their pockets because we want to be able to steal from them. But they don't want to say that. And that's why when Michael Mulgrew says, passing that bill will interfere with our collective bargaining, because that means that they can no longer pass a copay on you to fund their next teacher raises. That's the problem. That's how it's interfering. Really, what they should be told is, well, hey, listen, you do want to protect your retirees' benefits, don't you? And they'll go, yeah. Well, this bill would do that. Why would you be against it? Being against retiree healthcare is basically saying, you don't want it protected from diminution because you want to either diminish it or expect it to be diminished, and you want to be able to take from them. Why wouldn't you want to close that door? That way you're not pressured at the table to take from those retired people, because they don't want to tell you exactly why. And you picked how much COPE. Look at your stub to see if it stopped. Yeah, so you need to look at your pension stubs to see if you're still paying COPE. If you're still paying COPE, you must cancel it. Now, we did tell you how to do that. Let me see if I can pull that up. Here we go. So we created a special link, even with instructions, to tell you how to cancel your COPE and your people's money. And if you have trouble getting that canceled, call us. We'll be glad to help you stop it. We would actually even help you write the email and CC them and make sure that you're copied on it and that they actually follow through and cancel your COPE or your people's. So any problem, let us know. But yes, and then of course you can go right on and donate to us a COPE payment so that we can continue to do our political action to help pass your legislation. That's why this is super, super important. Call TRS to see if it was removed. Oh, great, Carol. That's another good idea, because they'll of course tell you. You guys should be logging into your pension systems to be able to see your stubs, because they basically don't send stubs anymore. You have to go look online, and you should know what's coming out of your pension check, and that's really the only place to do it. So if you haven't created a pension login, a GHI Emblem Health Senior Care login, a Medicare.gov login, a Social Security login. You should be doing all of that. That's the only way to know what the hell they're doing. Can our lawyers write to legislators and say our bills are not illegal and don't interfere with collective bargaining? I think we're going to pick that up really, really soon. And if our legislation gets introduced by the end of the month, like we're hoping it will be, then I think, we will be okay on that. And I think that message is going to be loud and clear, where we will kick off a campaign about that, which will include all of you having to message all of the politicians to be able to get that message out. We will try to make something, nice and sweet and boxed up for you. For those that need another link, so that was the COPE link. Here in the chat, I'm going to put the link to our website. And when you go to our website, which is literally scrolling up at the top, you see this? It's like, here we go. There you go. And our website is up top, scrolling along. You can go sign up for our newsletter, become a member, make your membership donation, make a donation to the organization, sign up for monthly donations, recurring donations. Once you have a login to the portal, then you have like your own account, and you can change the amount you donate, change when you donate, change how often you donate, change the method in which you're donating. It puts you in the driver's seat and you control it. So, it really does empower you to do all of that. And then you can see everything right there. If you're moving, your phone number changes, you can change that. So anytime, that you need that, please make an effort to log into all of those things, including us, because it literally puts the power in your hands. It usually takes 2 months pay periods for COPE payments. Yep, it absolutely does. Sorry I got on late. Did you discuss any plans for City Hall? Yes. So Deb, we're canceling Monday, but I'm asking you to pencil in Tuesday or Wednesday, actually, but pencil in both days, because I'm dependent now on the city actually responding back on Sunday to say that they're going to, on Monday, to tell us that that they're going to follow through with what they said on Tuesday or Wednesday. So pencil in Tuesday and Wednesday, 11 a.m., City Hall. I will let you know Monday about that. Also, pencil in June 29th at 1 o'clock. And I will also update you about that as well. So that's the news that I have. The last thing I have for you. So many of you had last month, you remember, we told you we were meeting with Comptroller Mark Levine, and we did. I went to his office last month, in the beginning of May. I sat with them. We talked about a lot of issues. You guys had concerns about the UAL reamateurization. You had concerns about the $4 billion that he had said that he wants to use for the Housing Investment Trust. There was a lot of questions that you had. I said, give me all your questions in this one thread. Most of your questions were great. Some of your questions were kind of confusing, and we didn't understand them or they were duplicated. What we did was we went through all of them. We took out the best questions that mostly everybody had, and we went to them with this. We also asked them about the Health Insurance Stabilization Fund, the Retiree Health Benefit Trust. We asked them about Ellen's FOIL. So they got back to me after like 2.5 weeks, and the responses that we got, we weren't happy with. And so I messaged them back at the same time this week, because I was also not happy with Mark Levine's testimony about that retirees had nothing to worry about healthcare wise. And I wanted to make sure he understood that. So the board today, myself and Bob had another meeting with the Comptroller's office, and we went over all of those questions. And I think we're only short. We didn't have enough time because we spent a good hour together. And I said, let's just end this here. I got most of the questions, answers to the questions that I wanted. And then we also discussed the Retiree Health Benefit Trust a little bit. And we spoke about the Health Insurance Stabilization Fund and the audit from December. So I have to follow up with them this weekend. I need to do everything that they asked me to do to get back to them. And then we'll probably have a follow-up call in like 2 weeks or so. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the comments, the questions that all of you had asked, and then the answers I need to translate to you guys and explain to you what the responses were. And in some of it, you weren't fully told about how many different kinds of issues or plans or mechanisms were involved, because there were different things that are involved in this entire process. There's the UAL, there's the $4 billion, there's the Housing Investment Trust, there's the AFL-CIO HIT. So all of these things, and then there's other components to that weren't really made clear in the article that you guys read, that I read. And so I told them, I said, a lot of this confusion comes because of the way that this was presented. There's better ways of doing this. Also, that these two things both have to go to, both the UAL and the Housing Investment Trust have to go before the pension boards. And so what I asked when Bob and I hung up on that call today, I asked Bob, who'd served on the police pension board for 20 years, would you come on our Friday Live and talk about the fiduciary responsibility of a pension trustee from his perspective and working on the board for 20 years for PD. And let's talk about some of the things that the comptroller's office talked to us about today about both of those. So when we come back next week on Friday, we're going to have Bob with us. And Bob is our vice president. Many of you have seen him before. And we're going to talk about that with all of you. We're going to explain some of those things that was discussed with us today. So next Friday, look forward to seeing Bob with us, because he will be able to help explain some of these things. Because the investments, a lot of you thought that there would be fraud involved or that the unions would be getting kickbacks, and he's going to explain how they work and how that doesn't happen. Sandra, so you have to go to our website, nycretirees.org, up there, and Zelle should come up. It's not Zelle, I think it's, we also have, I think, PayPal, Venmo, and ACH. ACH is like a withdrawal that's like a Zelle payment. And it's like an automated check, and it comes out of your checking account just like Zelle does. So you can do that directly through our portal, but you need to go there to do that. Thank you for asking. Just my take on why candidate Brad Lander is not being endorsed by UFT or DC 37. Why, of course it is he signed NYCOPSR's commitment letter. He testified against the first pension reamortization attempt, and he conducted and released that explosive health insurance stabilization fund audit. You are probably right. So what I did learn today from the comptroller, which is I kind of suspected after talking to Brad last year, is that even though the comptroller is the watchdog of the city's pocketbook, the city comptroller identifies where the money goes or where it shouldn't go or how it's been misused. And in this situation, the city lied to the comptroller's office. They acknowledged the city lied and that the fund had been misused by the Municipal Labor Committee to fund collective bargaining agreements. That was not the way that the fund was supposed to be used at its inception. And they notate this quite clearly, and it's backed up, cited, and sourced. And that's never been changed. So, however, even though they did this, yes, Ellen, exactly, they have no enforcement powers. You will see that the comptroller will conduct these millions of audits and put them on their website, but then they're not given a stick to smack their hands. They can do nothing about it. Not a thing. Not a thing. They can just report about it. That's it. So my question today is, well, what can be done? Because there was a misuse of taxpayer dollars, at the hands of the two largest unions leading the Municipal Labor Committee and the previous administration. And so we're investigating that. I have no idea who we can nudge to hold them accountable, but you will see that there was one change. When the mayor revealed his budget in January, February of this year, they actually put the Health Stabilization Fund as a line item in the budget, and they funded it the way they're supposed to and transparently. But yes, they have no powers, but there must be someone that can enforce that, and I just don't know what the answer to that is. So any of you retirees who have had any, I don't know, financial enforcement for the city, DOI for the city, oversight and investigations for the city, please ping us and let us know if this has been identified by the comptroller, who we can pressure to hold them accountable for a misuse of money. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? So anyone that's listening, please email us at our website up here, and please let us know what you think we can do to make sure that they are held accountable so that this never happens again. But yes, Ellen, right on point. Comptroller doesn't have any power to enforce bad things due as a result of bad things that happened financially, which I just don't understand. Why don't we advocate for retirees to stop paying? I don't know what that means. To stop paying what? Why don't we advocate for retirees to stop what? I don't understand. Yes. Their office does acknowledge that report exists, and I think that Mark really did need to get on the same page. Yeah, but I think they're on the same page now. So let's see, Kate. Oops. A comptroller's report, though, is valuable, much like a UFT resolution. Good point. Yes, I know it means little. I agree with you on this, and you also see how Michael Mulgrew disrespects resolutions, even past resolutions, and this week he kept calling the resolution of that Martha Boardman made out of order. And I still can't wrap my head around that. But he doesn't want the retirees pushing for no copays because he implements them. And we've shown you documents where he's increased copays. We even have a video. Hold on, let me see if I can. There's 2 short videos I incorporated in here in this new video that I did. I just did this week. And so let me go to this one. All right, let's see. Let me go back to you guys. I want to show you 2 short videos. They're only like a couple of seconds. They're only a couple of seconds each. Okay. Now I got to find where the heck that went. Oops. Okay, here we go.
Dependents that are on the plan are eligible dependents. We used behavioral economic techniques to encourage people not to go to the emergency room by putting $150 copay on the emergency room unless you're admitted to the hospital, and $50 on urgent care to encourage people to go to primary care doctors instead of urgent care or the hospital. And we were successful in reducing the number, sure that depend.
Okay, that was one. Now, what did she say and when was that from? That was going back to like 2023 when she testified, Claire Levitt, Deputy Commissioner of Labor Relations. I think she was like the commissioner of like cost containment. Those copays were negotiated with the Municipal Labor Committee, initiated by Michael Mulgrew. And here's the next video. Let me see if I can quickly grab that one for you, where he actually admits it. Because, you know, admits to passing copays on you because he doesn't want you to go to places he doesn't want you to go to. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh, here we go. Okay, now let me come back to you and share my screen so you can see this. I think at this point I really need 2 computer screens because this is getting crazy. Okay, share screen. And this is Michael Mulgrew. Make sure you're seeing that. Oops. Add to stage. There you go.
Constantly looking at areas, as I said, to drive costs down. Recently, we did just put a major copay on one of the urgent care centers, the only one who did not respond and renegotiate their prices with us. The only one who did not now has a massive copay on because we just don't want people going in there. Period.
So, period, he says, period. But guess what? Putting a massive copay on an urgent care center or a doctor's office or whatever, or a specific drug, that doesn't penalize the drug manufacturer, the urgent care, the doctor. It penalizes you. Michael Mulgrew says, I implemented massive copays. It wasn't on the urgent care. It was on you, the employee and the retiree, to try to prevent you from going there. It did not hurt the doctor's office. Why? Because this is how stupid people are. You've been doing healthcare for your whole life, right? I've been doing healthcare my entire life. In representing retirees on healthcare, you recognize geography and situational, wherever the location is. If you have a problem, one day I was working in my backyard. I ended up getting poison ivy, and I thought I was careful. Apparently I wasn't. And not only did I get it on my arm, I also had it on my face. And you may have remembered that because it was like right around, like you could see it on the lower part. I went like this and I ended up getting on my face. I called my doctor's office. She couldn't tell me. What'd she say? I have no room to take you in. Go to urgent care. Now you go to urgent care. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I used to be able, before COVID, I could get into my doctor's office sometime the same day, most times the same week. Now, I can't get in for 3 months at minimum, sometimes 6. So where can you go? Urgent care. And yes, so she is so proud of herself stopping people getting healthcare because they need the most screw copay tax. Yeah, she called it behavioral economics. You see that wicked grin on her face? It was evil that she thought like this was a smart ass thing to do. And this is literally done because the Mayor's Office of Labor Relations, where she works, and Michael Mulgrew and Henry Garrido have been negotiating increasing copays so that they can fund their agreements. So when Mark Levine testified before the Finance Committee before Chair Linda Lee this week, and then was talking about that healthcare, Gail Brewer asked him a question, where's healthcare for retirees? Why she would ask the controller that, I have no idea. But she did ask him that question, and he said to her, He knows that she's very passionate about this issue, and she's one of our supporters, but that he said that healthcare was not in jeopardy. And that is not true. Because of these copays and these agreements, he says, that have to be funded. Well, we didn't make those agreements. He should be going back to Michael Mulgrew to fund those agreements, and labor relations should be held accountable. But since the mayor doesn't want to communicate with the retirees to understand that they're in this situation because of the mayor's office of labor relations negotiating these deals with the active union leaders, remember, unions you're not in, then you're not going to get that, which is why Michael Mulgrew didn't give two damns about Martha Boardman's resolution, because he has no intention of getting that resolution passed. He even admitted, he told the retirees that if that resolution came to the floor, he would rule it out of order, and he did. He does not want that resolution to go anywhere. He does not want your legislation to go anywhere. So we have a lot to figure out, how we're going to do that, how we'll work against him, because Mulgrew is like, I think at this point, he's just satanical. Had poison ivy in my eyes. Oh, Charles, let me tell you, it was really hard. In my eyes, I don't know what I would do with that. Same thing with my doctor. Behavioral economics is a great way to describe it. And that's what they did. That was one of the most disgusting that I'd seen. Douglas Pagnozzi, UFT resolutions are performance theaters. Yes, it is. And so is the Delegate Assembly, sadly. So hang in there, because I think that you guys will realize that there's some good things happening. But in order for us to keep up this fight, we need to get our colleagues that are not funding our organization to keep doing so, because we've shown you what the unions are spending. Like every quarter is tens of thousands of dollars that we just would not ever be able to keep up with without the support. So we're going to keep pushing our retirees to be able to, that are not supporting this organization yet, funding this organization, to start funding it, because we've proven ourselves time and time again that we have been successful in fighting for you and standing up for what you earned and protecting your healthcare benefits as much as we possibly can. So I have not done a newsletter this week. I promise you I will get to one. It's either this weekend or early next week. I'm going to see if I wait till like maybe Monday to put one out, to hopefully, if we do get to Tuesday or Wednesday where I will see all of you at City Hall, then I will make sure that newsletter goes out Monday so we can get the most people that we possibly can. So, Patrick, yeah, can you call primary care and get the office visit? Yes, and that's everywhere. So pencil in Tuesday, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pencil in June 29th at 1:30, and I will keep you posted. You will hear back from me on Monday. Monday, I have my radio show at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then Friday night, you'll also hopefully get an update from us on Councilmember Marte and our legislation. So that's what I have for you for this week. Hold on one second. I'm getting another message. Give me 1 second. This is about Monday. Because, of course, it's 6 p.m. Maybe a Knicks parade. I don't know if this mayor likes parades. I have no idea. Maybe the stars will align and Monday will have good news for us. Yeah, I'm thinking let's stick with Tuesday, Wednesday for right now, because I don't even know if they're going to answer me back. This was only about 15 minutes ago, but Hopefully we will definitely have good news for you by Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll at least be able to update you Monday on this, and then see you guys on Tuesday or Wednesday. Yes, I will ask all my retiree friends if they're funding. And Evelyn, part of this issue is that they follow us, they read us, they watch us, they get our emails, but then they're not supporting what we're doing. And they really should be at this point. Marian, you once brought up the fact that the UFT wants reopened negotiation for teachers' parental leave, and they should do the same for paras. Do you know if there's any legit reason why this couldn't happen for our UFT paras to push non-pensionable para bill that also goes against collective bargaining, including a lot of ageism? Okay, great question, Laura. So yes, the UFT has reopened contracts in the past. That was even testified to by Labor Relations before the City Council, questioning why they were doing the respect check para bill before the City Council and not trying to renegotiate the raises. Now, you also saw in the paper, I think it was in the Post yesterday or the day before, where it was revealed that the United Federation of Teachers had actually made a deal with the city that when the school's class size mandate has not been met, that there would be specific teachers in certain schools that would get an additional upwards of $10,000 a year because the class size mandate had not been met. Well, if Michael Mulgrew was able to negotiate that kind of a deal where he would be giving upwards of $75, $85, $95, $10,000 a year to a group of teachers in specific schools in which the class size mandate had not been met, why didn't he go back and negotiate getting a $10,000 pensionable pay raise for his paraprofessionals? Asking for a friend. Great question. I don't have an answer for that. But maybe you guys want to email Michael Mulgrew and say, hey, when are you going to reopen the contract to negotiate that? But I'm going to tell you, he's probably going to say, when I pass more copays on those retirees, I'll give the paras their respect check. But yeah, I hear you. Gridlock alert Tuesday to the World Cup. No, could you explain that? Because I thought they would be in San Antonio or wherever the hell they are. Is that a home game or is that an away game? Tuesday is World Cup. World Cup and basketball. Oh, you got it. But in the morning? Why would it cause travel issues in the morning? We would be going to City Hall at 11 a.m. You guys would be leaving City Hall by like, I don't know, 12. There's soccer in the morning? Seriously? Yes, I'm still sick, David. You can still hear me. Sorry. Robert Rendo, can you talk about what Jake said about this free speech legislation interfering with unions? Might be the worst case scenario, which is the best one. So I spoke about that last week, and I don't have my book in front of me. So there was a bill that had passed the Senate and the Assembly, and it goes before the governor. And it has the ability to potentially chill speech for retirees and employees, actually more so for employees dissenting with their union. So that could be definitely a problem. But we had asked our legal team about that, and I'm not thinking that that is an issue for us. It's more an issue for active workers who are dissenters against their union establishment, that the union can try to weaponize this bill against them. And there was a petition that we posted on several of the social pages, and they posted on the social pages, which I do not have handy right now, that they were arguing to have that language amended. Worst case scenario, the worst case scenario would bet the union would try to weaponize that your free speech would be union interference. And like they tried to accuse me of union interference during the election. And they would weaponize that and then bring it to the attorney general. And the attorney general would have to sue because they're trying to take out their responsibility for suing against this so that the AG brings the lawsuit, not the union. That way they're not funding it. I'm not sure where that goes at this point. Right now, there is that petition that's being circulated. And of course, it goes before the governor, and she has until December to sign it. So that's all I can tell you on that. Mary Ann, feel better. Whenever sick, you don't stop. You are our ever ready bunny. I know. And I'm afraid because if I do stop, it becomes a problem because then I got more I have to still do. And then it just keeps building. The para bill is illegal. Our bill isn't, correct? Mulgrew says para bill is legal and ours isn't. And yes, I know. I'm fully agree with that statement. The para bill should have gone through collective bargaining. And this is like one of the unusual times that I would agree with the city on this. But it does unfortunately show that he's willing to play dirty, and misrepresent the truth, which don't worry, we're used to that. We don't expect anything less from him. 42nd Street will be closed the entire length of next week. Well, Deanna, I'm hoping that retirees would take a train or carpool in a cab or something together to get there. I don't know why they would close 42nd Street, but okay, I'm going to take your word for it. World Cup is in New Jersey, but lots of New Yorkers going to New Jersey travel through the city. Yeah, but right. So if it's in New Jersey, game is at 3 on Tuesday. 3 on Tuesday. I think you guys will be out of there. Remember, press conferences usually, if it starts at 11, you guys would be there by like 10:30, and then you'd probably be out of there by 11:30, 12 o'clock the latest. So the game is at 3. I think you'd be out of there by 11:30 or 12, which is probably when people would be going to that game. So I still think you'd be okay, to be quite honest with you. Mamdani has been coming out with TikTok after TikTok. It's as though he regrets not having been asked to do Love Boat. I don't even know if he would know what Love Boat is. We need that big rat to visit Mamdani, Mulgrew, and Garrido's office. We have to get a rat. Donate, donate, donate. Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. Rest over the weekend. Feel better. Thank you, Gwen. You too. Even firemen need. Aw, thank you, my dear. It's good to see you. So it's 6:15. I'm going to call it a night. I don't have anything else for you guys to do. There's really no push for anything for you to do. Know that I'll be on the radio on Monday. You will hear from me Monday afternoon when I hear back from the attorneys. And then I will let you know whether we're doing this press conference Tuesday or Wednesday. Would most likely be at 11 a.m. at City Hall, and I will keep you posted about that. And it's brief. We're going to do it, get together. Maybe we'll all walk to the corner and go get a hot dog and a soda or something, and then everybody goes home. But hang in there because this is like a quick thing. It's not going to be an all-day thing, and Councilmember Marte did say he wanted to be with us as well, so I will keep him posted. Pencil in Tuesday and Wednesday at 11 a.m. because I don't know which day we're doing this. And then also pencil in June 29th. It's a Thursday at 1:30 in the afternoon. Have a really great weekend and relax a little bit. And then Monday, you'll hear back from me. If any of you start to get letters, any paraprofessionals start to get letters from TRS, you must just contact the pension attorney that I had mentioned to you before, nypensionlawyers.com, and reach out to them for assistance and guidance because they are looking into this issue. Yep, you too, Migda. I have my tea and my honey. I love jasmine tea and loose red rubios, and that's what I've been drinking. I'm trying to cut down on the caffeine from the coffee, so this tea has been relaxing. So that's what I've been doing. I love you guys. You have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and I will update you next week. I promise you will see me Monday. I love you. Ciao.
Don't speak what you don't understand. The truth is not in your command. Don't shout about what you think is fake. The decision isn't yours to make. Don't lie about the way things are. Tall tales will take you very far. Don't scoff when they say it's the end. In this life we know you can't pretend. The days pass by, baby, set in stone. But it's not too late now for you to change your tone.